Hello everyone, my name is Lauritz, and today I'm gonna teach you how to make vectors and matrices in R. So let's go ahead and start up R, first of all. And here it is, let's just wait for it to load. And it's done now. Okay, so let's make a new script where we can save all our values. Let's go ahead and save this first of all. And let's call this script vector. Alright, nice. So a vector, what is a vector? Well, basically a vector is just a list of things, really. At least that's the way I like to think of it. So you can make a vector of anything you want. You can make a vector of names, a list of names, a list of values, a list of numbers, a list of other lists. You can, everything actually. So let's go ahead and see how we do this. So first of all, let's make an example with a shopping list, for instance. So let's say there are some prices of some items that we want to get. So we're going to want to write all these down. And I'm just going to separate all the values in my vector, which in this case are prices, by a comma. So let's say something costs 1 crown, 2 crowns, 4.5, 8, and I don't know, 10. And notice that everything here is separated by a comma. And digit numbers like 4.5 is separated by a dot. So let's go ahead and write this down. And then we get this. Nice and easy. So that was one way to make a vector. There are many ways to make a vector in R. Another way, say if you just wanted integers, so whole numbers. So you can actually do this very easily by where you want to start, colon, where you want to end. Let's say 10. So this will now make a vector with the values 1 to 10. Let's run that. And it did. Now we have a vector with the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. And this is really good because, say, you can also do it like this. And it gives the same result. But what if you wanted 1 to 200? I'm not gonna sit here and type in everything up to 200. So you can actually just delete that. You can just do it like this. Then you get 1 to 200. What if you don't want whole numbers? What if you want decimal numbers? Say you want to go from 1 to 10, but you want other halves as well. Well, you can just use the seq function, which means stand for sequence, I guess. And the arguments are where you want to start, so 1, where you want to end, 10, and what is the step size. Let's say it's 1 first of all, just to show an example. Then you get the values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it starts at 1, then adds 1 to that number, adds 1, and it keeps on doing that until it gets to 10. But it doesn't have to be 1, it can also be a half. So what do we get here? Oh, sorry. Then we get this. 1, 0, 1.5, 2, 2.5, and 3, and so on. This is really good when you want to get, you can get any range you want of numbers. You get any sequence you want of numbers. So I guess all the way of making the vectors have their own uses. So let's save this, by the way. Let's save this to a value. And you can use the equal sign here, by the way, when you save it, or you can do this. It doesn't matter, it's the same. So let's save this to prices. Because what I want to show you now is that you can actually also put names into a vector. So if I type items. So this is my shopping list, and these are the prices, but what am I actually buying? I can type it here, and I can just make a list of strings. And the way to make a string is just to put 2 quotes around it. So how about, I want a banana, I want cheese, oh, I better get some milk as well, and beer for a Friday bar, and bacon for the hangover. Perfect. So let's look at this items list. Here we are. So this just goes to show that you can save both values and names into lists. Okay. So what if I wanted to get the third element of items. I want to get milk. How do I get that? You can access a vector. You can access all the elements in the vector by putting the items, the name of the vector, and then square brackets, and then the number element that you want. So if I want an element number 3, I'll just type in 3. I get milk. I can also get elements 1, 2, and 3, like this. And I can also get element number 5, which would be bacon. This can also be done for prices. So the last element was 10, and the first element will be 1, which is nice. And there's actually a lot of cool things you can do with vectors. So if I have prices, for instance, there's a function called mean, where you can get the mean of all the values in a vector, which can be pretty handy. So let's try out mean prices, and you can actually also get the sum of all the elements. So you're just adding them all together. And what else can you get? You can also get the variance, if you wanted to do some statistics, which you will probably have to. And then another thing, you can also find out how many elements do you have in your vector. So that's just a length function here, and it's 5. One thing to bear in mind though is that mean, sum, and variance do not work on string vectors. Like you can't take the average value of a lot of names. We can try though and see what it says. It says no. Basically says these are not numbers, you cannot do this. So what if I wanted to get the sum, just to prove the point here? No, you cannot do that. So I showed you how to access an element. You can actually also do some nice things. If I just type prices, for instance, and then plus 1, it will add the value 1 to each element of the prices. If I wanted to do that, I can also multiply it with 2. So now it's multiplying each element with 2. So first in prices we had a 1, multiplied by 2 gives 2. Second element is 2, multiplied by 2 gives 4, and so on. So that was vectors, real quick. And now we can actually also make matrices. And matrices are basically just many-dimensional vectors, if you think of it. So the way we create a matrix in R is just we type matrix, brackets, and then what do we want to put in this matrix? Let's say we wanted to put zeros. So we have a 1 here. And now, since the matrix is 2-dimensional, we want to specify the number of rows and the number of columns. So let's say we wanted 5 rows and 2 columns. Let's see what it gives us. So it gives us exactly what we wanted. It gives us a matrix with 2 columns, 1 and 2, and 5 rows. Which is cool. Now we have a matrix full of zeros. But maybe we can put something in this. Maybe we can put the prices and the items, so we actually are going to make a shopping list out of this. And one really easy way to do this is, okay, so we want to fill it up with prices and items. So let's just put these into one list, and you can actually do that. You can put lists together also with this C function, like this. So now we have prices and the items. And let's just save this to shopping list. Alright. And then we can actually just put in the values here, and voila. We have the prices here, and we have the items here. But, okay, so one thing that's important is that the elements in shopping list needs to be divided by the number of fields in the matrix. And what I mean by that? Well, we have 5 rows and 2 columns. So that gives us 10 values, right? So that means that the length of shopping list, the number of elements in shopping list, must be 10. So let's see if it is. Well, it seems like it is. And it was. So that was that. Let's just call it save this to a variable called list. And we can also access elements in a matrix by the same way we accessed vectors earlier. So we can say we wanted what if I wanted to get milk? that will be the third column, or the third row, sorry. So I type 3, and then I want the second column, which is 2. So let's type in that, and we should get milk. Great. And you can also get, what if I wanted to get both milk and the price of it? Well, then I wanted the first and the second column. So I can do this. But a nifty trick in R is actually just you can type nothing. And this may look a bit weird, but in R, for some reason, not typing anything is actually giving you everything. So this will give me the third row and all the columns. Let's look at it. This is actually really strange when you think about it. So not typing in anything at all would just give me the whole list in a way. And last of all, you can also save new values to your list here. So let's say that we wanted this 4.5 milk actually got more expensive this week. So now it's not 4.5 anymore. So let's exit that element. And let's say it's not 4.5 now, it's 5. And then we can check our list, and we can see that the value actually changed. So that was a quick tutorial on what you can do with matrices and vectors, and that will be all for me.